Hi, Partners in Excellence. Andy here, and today I'm going to briefly go over the BNI Member Goals Worksheet for 2024. Remember, this is part of our education moment, talking about what was our 2023 like and looking forward to 2024 and filling in any gaps we might have from our membership participation and our commitment and also our communication to one another as group members on what it is we're hoping to receive as number of referrals, the types of referrals we're looking for, and the closed business goal we have for ourselves personally. Everyone's business is a little bit different. Some of us have recurring sales. Some of us are just transaction by transaction. But this worksheet is intended to show you how much of your business you're relying on coming from BNI, number one, how many referrals it might take based on your average amount of money earned per referral or per closing, and then show you how many referrals you need in order to close enough deals in order to make the kind of money that you want. And then, of course, in the spirit of givers gain, if you are getting referrals, you want to be giving referrals. If you're giving referrals, you're expecting to get referrals. So really quickly, let's go to the top. And I just made this very simple example, and it's going to be different for you. But number one, you're going to write in your total annual business revenue goal for 2024. So for simple math sake, I just put $100,000. Let's say you want to make $100,000 next year. You put that number in this column. And then under what percentage of income would you like to come from BNI? You enter how much do you want to come from your membership in our group. If you want 10% of that money to come to you, put 10%. If you'd like it to be 15 or 20 or 30%, it could be 50%, it could be 100%. But put that number here. What percent do you expect that to come from BNI? And then mathematically equate that. Calculate what it is 10% of $100,000 is $10,000. So if I want to make $100,000 and I want 10% of my business to come from Partners in Excellence, then I expect that $10,000 should be coming to me from that and those efforts. Now, my average sales price, this can be a little tricky depending on your industry and your classification, but average sales price for your product or service, take into consideration your best clients versus just average clients. Again, we're in a room where we can ask for the thing we want, and we can ask for our best from one another, not just the average or the low-hanging fruit, even though sometimes that might just be exactly what you're looking for. But quantify that as best you can, high or low, conservative or liberal, whichever way you think is going to be better for you mathematically. And then you put that number in here for your average sales price. In this example, though, that means if I said my average sales price was $1,000 for my service per deal, then that means I need to close 10 of them from the chapter in order to get my $10,000 goal, which is 10% of my overall revenue goal for 2024. Now, my closing ratio is for how many referrals I get, how many do I close? Well, if I have a 50% closing ratio, that means I need 2 referrals to close 1 deal. So if I need to close 10 as a result of being in the chapter, that actually means if I have a closing ratio of 2 to 1, I need 20 referrals to come to me in the new year in order to generate 10 closings at $1,000 for $10,000, which is 10% of my $100,000 total goal. So you can see how the math is already working. And then that means monthly, in order to reach my goal, I will actually need to have 1.66% referrals, which I rounded up to 2 in this case, because I'm not going to get 1.6 referrals. I'm going to get a whole referral, not a half referral. So in this case, I need to get 2 referrals per month in order to close the amount I want, to make the amount I want based on the percentage of BNI business, BNI referrals as part of my overall business. And then again, how many referrals do I need to give in the new year? As a best practice member, we're looking for a 1-to-1 ratio, but I will tell you from experience, I actually historically, when I go look at my BNI Connect profile, it's actually more like 3 to 1 for me. It's 3.57 to 1 actually. So I, in the history of my membership, given that many in order to receive the amount that I have been I've gotten as referrals and in closed business. My closed business number is actually 2 to 1. So the value given is twice as much as what I've received, but my referrals given is 3.57 to 1. So in this case, take into consideration what is your part. So Andy, what is your part in this chapter? In the Power of One, we give 1 referral per week on average. That's going to be our kind of like goal for membership. Now, if you do that, you might actually end up getting more referrals than you need based on this little exercise. But take a minute, take some time to fill this out, and then bring this with you to the next meeting on Wednesday. We want to have a couple people share. I'd like to have someone share that has a recurring business model where you have renewals every single year. I want some people to share that have products, and then I want some people to share that have services, and then some people that are just transactional, where there is no recurring annual renewal for the service or the product that you sell. So I'm going to get a variety and a mix. And then, of course, we're going to be able to look at the cumulative total as a group of what everyone's goal is for the chapter as a result of all of us having our personal goals there. Now, lastly, the other thing I wanted to share is that in this message, you're going to see something called the BNI Goal Tracking Worksheet 2024. And this is where you can actually track the referrals that you've given or that you've got, and then what it was worth. Like, how much is your goal? And then how many referrals do you need in order to give, and how many you need to get? And then how much revenue is basically coming to you as a result of that. So this is for you to have like personal accountability, but a method to do this. You'll have to change the numbers so they suit your specific instance. But again, the goal here is that you can track what it is you actually need and then communicate that to us, especially in the setting of a one-to-one. You might even want to bring these to your one-to-one and share this with one another. This might be useful to tell people in the chapter more clearly and specifically what kinds of business you're looking for, numbers-wise, number of referrals, and then what that means to you. I think we're coming into a new year where we've all known each other a little bit longer, and some of us know each other a real long time, and we maybe still have not done this to its fullest extent to help one another out. So my advocacy and my plea to you all is to complete the worksheet for yourself, but also bring it to the chapter, and let's start sharing this with one another. Let's make time and space for us to do these for each other, because as we commit to doing this for one another, we'll also be on the receiving end of that ourselves. And hopefully, by the time we look at this next year, will have hit our goals for 2024. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me back, you can call me, or you can text me. I'm happy to help you out prior to next Wednesday. And if for any reason you aren't done prior to the next meeting, I'd be happy to help you at the end of the meeting or anytime in December, so that before we start off January 2024, you have your BNI goals set. You know what needs to be done by the chapter for you and what you need to be doing for the chapter in order to get those results. Thank you for watching, and I hope this has been helpful.